All right. Okay, so let's start today's class. Last time I asked you to homework to think about how can we display a random character. So let's go into this one. Let's see what we can do. What do you think? What is our first step we need to do if I want to display a random character from this sentence? What's the first thing we need to do? What is the first thing we need? So we need to extract the sentence. So I'm just going to go to the previous button, just copy that. Let's just do that again. So what we do is we create a variable, sentence of type string, and we say the sentence is equal to our edit box.text. So that will get that for us. So the next thing we need to do is we basically need to get a random position. So we're going to work out a random position in the string. So we can't generate a random character, but what we can do is we can get a random number and we can make sure that that number is a random number in our range. So do you agree? If we've got 5 characters, we can do a random number between 1 and 5. If we've got 10 characters, we can get a random number between 1 and 10. If we've got 15 characters, we can get a random number between 1 and 15. So what do you think is a next thing we need to know when we want to calculate that random position? So yeah, because it's one character, we don't need a loop. But do you agree? As I said now, let's say the sentence got 7 characters. I want a random number between 1 and 7. If the sentence got 12 characters, I want a random number between 1 and 12. So do you agree the next thing after getting the sentence would be to find out how many characters are there in the sentence? So we want the number of characters. And if I want to know how many characters are in the sentence, what function can I use again to tell me how many characters are there? Yes. So I want the length of my sentence. If I can do that, now I know how many characters there are. So now we can do our random number. So the random position. How do I generate a random number again? What's my first word I use there? What's the function name? So pause will extract the character. We will use it just now. No, pause tells us where something is. Do you agree? I don't want to know where anything is. I want to extract a random character. So what I want to do now is I want a random position. So I want a random number. How do I generate a random number? Do you agree? We just say random. We can call our random function. So random. And then in the brackets, how does it work again? Who can remember? How does the random work again? So, and the highest we want is the number of characters. Do you agree? So we want the number of characters is our highest number we want, minus the lowest, which is a 1, the first character. And then it's always plus 1. And on the outside, remember it's plus lowest, so plus 1. This will now give me a random number between 1 and the number of characters that's there. So if there was 7 characters, I'm going to have between 1 and 7. If there was 20 characters, I'm going to have a random number between 1 and 20. So this gives me a random number between 1 and the amount of numbers of characters I've got. And that is my random position. And then what did we say? What do we do again? What can we use to extract a specific character? So a random character will get. How do we get that again? So if I know I want a character at this position from this sentence. So this is the complete sentence. This is the position of the character that I want. So what can I write here so that I can extract from this sentence this character? What can I do? Remember our square brackets? The square brackets is extracting a character. So I can say from this sentence, the position of the character I want is Ranpos. And I want that specific character. So this is going to take from the sentence the character at that position. It's going to take out, and now I just want to display it. So in my labeled edit, which was this? Probably 8. In the text property, I want to put my rancher, my random character. Alright, let's see how this works. So John, if I get a random character, oh, it's in the wrong spot, but can you see it's an N or a J or an N or O or H or a J. So as I click it, you'll see every now and again there's a gap. Let's see if I can get one again. There. Because remember, the space is also a character. So at this stage, the random character we extracted was the space. And that's our random character. So it wasn't an 8, I think it's a 7 supposed to be. Sorry about the renaming. A, B, C, D, E. Random character. And then you'll only get one of those ones. So just again, to get a random character is step 1, get the sentence. Then, so now we want, so step 2 is we want a random position in the string. So to do that, we need to, let's take this out. So step 2 would be find the number of characters, and that we can do with the length function. Then now step 3 was get a random number in the range. We do that with our random function. So we worked out to get a random number within that range between 1 and the amount of characters we've got. Then our step 4 was extract the character, and we used the square brackets to do that. And then step 5 we displayed. And that's our algorithm for a random character. Get our sentence, then get the number of characters that's in the sentence. Then we generate a random number within the range between 1 and that amount of characters. Then we extracted the character, and then we displayed the character. Alright, so how the copy works. So just recap, for this button, we want the first 4 characters. from a string. So step 1, get the sentence. Create a first for variable, and then we want to copy out of it. So how copy works, it is firstly, so you call the copy function, open bracket, then it's out of which, let's say variable. So your first part is out of which variable do you want to copy? In our case, we want to copy it out of the sentence. The second part is your starting position. So that is in which character do you want to start copying? In our case, we want the first 4, so we want to start at position 1. But you'll see we're going to add another one now, if time allows, where we copy the last 4. And then we'll see how that works. So we want to copy out of which variable, then the starting position, then how many characters. So that is copy out of the sentence, starting at position 1, and take 4 characters. Out of which variable, starting at which position, and then how many characters do you want to copy. And that's how copy works. So let's quickly run this, see what it does. So if I go hi John again, the first 4 characters is a H and an I and a space and a J. See? Okay. I, J. Because that's the first 4 characters. Alright. Any questions on that? Yes. Yes. I will. This one's no problem. Say again. Which captions? So I didn't change the names at all. So I just renamed the captions. So but as this I will upload. So when we want to do the last 4 characters, because remember now you don't know how long the sentence is. So for our copy function, we need to have a starting position, and having not knowing how long the sentence is, we don't know where we can start. So to get the last 4, we need the length to just find out how long the sentence is. If the length sentence is 7 long, where do we want to start copying? I gave you a tip that's saying that we will need the length function as well. Length, yes. So I'm going to use the length function. The length function of sin. So this is going to tell me how many characters. So if I was doing this one, length would tell me 7. But where do I actually want to start? At which position do I want to start? The how many character? The 4th one. So what do you do with the 7 to get to 4? Yes. So it's always a little bit tricky. You'd think, I lost 4, that means I should subtract 4. But if you subtracted 4, you would have seen you actually get 5 then. So you'll always just subtract like 1 less. So in this case, we're going to copy out of sin. So this part here is perfect. The only thing we need to do is the starting position is the number of characters we've got. Subtract 3. And now this is the other version of the copy. If you want to go to the end, you don't need the second part. So you can just close it. And then we can display it in our labeled edit. So Mr. Walkershaw, don't judge me. We forgot to rename the stuff, so we're keeping it defaults. Last four. All right, let's quickly see how this goes. So if the sentence was hijack, and then we just get the jack, and if it is hi, my name is John, and then it's just John. So it doesn't matter what, and if I go space and then A, B, C, D, then A, B, C, D. So it doesn't matter what the length or what the sentence is. We're going to look how many characters are there, and then copy out of that sentence, starting at the end but -3, so that we can get the last 4 digits displayed.